Okay, so we're going to do the craft for experiment 3, which is to do a rainbow picture, unless you want to do something totally different based on what you've done already. So make sure your work area is covered. Newspaper, good old newspaper, comes in useful for everything. This is a black plastic bin bag, another thing that comes in very handy to keep things neat and tidy. Perhaps a plastic tray, or mum might have a plastic tablecloth or a paper one that you can use. But whatever you use, just try and keep things neat and tidy so that wherever you're working stays looking as it should. Now for this one, the world's your limit. With this piece of paper, A4, A3, doesn't matter what colour. And I've got a pink piece here. And I'm sure you've all been doing lots of rainbow paintings this past few months for the NHS. So you are going to be fantastic at doing these, and you're going to know the order of the colours that they go in. And you're going to know that there's 7 of them. Now when I was young, I learnt a rhyme called Richard of York gave battle in vain, to remember the colours. But apparently now there's one that's Roy B. Give, or something similar to that, is as another way to learn them. However, what we're going to do first is draw our rainbow lines. I've lost my, that's the colour I was going to draw them with. There it is. So let's say we need 7. You can make this as big or as little as you want. I'm not going to go too big, and try and, well, if you don't have to make them the same size if you don't want to. 1, 2, I've got a crease of paper in the middle, it's making me wobble. 3, 4, 5, 6, and I think I'm going to have to do another one here to make my 7. So there's my 7 stripes for my rainbow. Now, this is where, when I say the world's your oyster, comes into play, because you can use colouring pencils to do this. So I won't need the brown. The first colour is red, so I'll have a bit of red on here. Doesn't really show up very well on the pink paper, but never mind. And obviously you'll be very good at colouring, perhaps again better than I am. I always find with pencils you've got to be very careful when you change angles, because it shows. Right. So there's my red, done that in pencil. Right. If you don't want to use pencils, you can use felt tips. So Richard of, so this next one is orange. And obviously you can take a lot longer on doing these than I am in showing you, because you're going to have a lot more time, and I'm only giving you examples. And there's my orange. That's Richard of. York is yellow. And now, just to make it different, I'm going to use paints. Come on, yellow, you can do it. we go. The only problem with these is you have to get them quite wet. There we go, get this on there now. I could maybe try the bigger brush. Would get longer strokes on it. But you might not have a bigger brush. And I got these paints from Tesco's. And I think they cost me £3. I think I saw some in Wilkinson's today for £2. And there was more of them as well. So if you want mummy to buy you or daddy to buy you some paints, just make sure you look around first before you decide to buy. There. Not very expertly done, but there we go. That's 3 colours gone. Right, I'm going to get slightly more adventurous here, because the other thing you can do, and to do this you will need some glue. There's my glue stick gone. There it is, glue. Richard of York gave. It's green. I've got a sheet of green paper here, and I am going to cut bits off, and I'm just going to cut off little squares like this. They don't have to be the same size, or you can make them the same size, it's entirely up to you. You can make them as thick as you want or as thin as you want. As I say, you can, if you wanted to measure them and make them all exactly the same size, you could. But I am going to do like a mosaic, and I'm going to put my green paper, oops, on here. Just make sure though, if you are going to do this, that you don't put the glue on the paper before you've cut them, because otherwise the glue will dry and then you'll have to put more on again. And as I say, you can put these on any way you like. It's your painting, your picture, and you decide how you put them together. You can overlap them, or not, as the case takes you. So there you go. I've done it with some paper. Alright, now Richard of York gave battle. Oh, blue, good. Because the other thing I'm going to use is some tissue paper. Alright. And with the tissue paper you can do basically the same thing as you've done with the normal coloured paper. But with this you can tear it. You don't have to cut it. So, with the tissue paper, you can either cut it into strips, like you've done with the green there, or you can just tear bits off so that you make sticky up bits, scrunched up. And again, don't put the glue on before you've got them ready. or do it a little bit at a time so that the glue doesn't dry out. And again, you can put as many on as you want, and in whatever order you want. You can make it as full or as empty as you want. And you can make your pieces of paper as big or as small as you want, depending on how quickly you want to fill your line. And you can lie the tissue paper flat. Nothing to say you can't lie it flat. So fold that in half so you can just have it flat like that, or you can have it scrunched up. Personally, I prefer it scrunched, but as I say, the painting is yours and it's entirely up to you how you do it. And then you've got your last two lines, indigo and violet, which are, some people say, are very similar to purple. So you may have a bit of trouble there finding the exact colours, so poetic license is allowed, and you can colour those whatever colours you've got. But that is your rainbow painting. So again, if you decide you want to do it a different way, or if you want to do it as a mix match like I've just showed you, then that is entirely up to you. But when you've decided you've done enough, put that to one side. Make sure the lid goes back on your glue, if I can find it, because you don't want that to dry out, because you might need that again for your next one. Tidy up your paints. Make sure all your crayons are put away. Make sure the lids are all on the top of your felt tip pens, because you don't want them drying out. And make sure that you, if you've used paints, that your brushes are clean and you put your water away. But again, don't get rid of your floor covering, because you'll need that again for the crafts that we've still got to do.